Welcome to Psych Rich, where trading meets the mind. Here, we don't just chase profits, we master emotions. Because real wealth isn't built on luck or signals, it's built on psychology, discipline, and inner calm. Each episode helps you train the one thing that truly moves the market, your mind. So, take a breath, tune in, and let's build your psychological edge together. This is Psych Rich, the mindset of money. Chapter 1. The Inner War, Greed, Fear, and the Trader's Mind. You sit before the glowing screen. Candles move like waves, steady one moment, storming the next. Your heart beats in rhythm with every flicker of price. You tell yourself you're in control, but deep down, you know there's another voice inside you. A voice that says, don't miss out. Another that whispers, what if you lose? Greed pulls you forward, fear holds you back. And somewhere between those two is you. Every trader knows this feeling, the quiet battle between logic and emotion, the push and pull between patience and impulse. Because the true market isn't just on your screen, it's inside your mind. The battle between greed and fear is ancient. Long before charts and indicators, these emotions were built for survival. They helped you act fast in danger and seize opportunity when it appeared. But in trading, those instincts often turn against you. Fear makes you exit too early, desperate to protect what's left. Greed makes you hold too long, chasing one more win, one more high. Neither of them wants you to stay calm. Both of them want control. Think back to the last time you broke your plan. You saw the market moving, you jumped in without thinking. Or maybe you lost a trade and felt the urge to make it back immediately. That wasn't your strategy speaking, that was emotion. And that's the truth most traders never face. You're not battling the market. You're battling yourself. Inside every trader lives two voices. One says, go bigger, don't miss this chance. Another says, be careful, this could go wrong. Your job isn't to silence them, it's to listen without reacting. Because awareness changes everything. When you notice fear rising, you can pause before running. When you feel greed whisper, you can breathe before chasing. You start to see the emotion, not become it. A calm trader isn't someone without emotion. A calm trader is someone who understands emotion and still chooses clarity over chaos. When you can observe your reactions, the rush, the panic, the urge, you gain real power. Not power over the market, but power over your mind. And that's where mastery begins. Not in the perfect entry, but in the perfect state of awareness. So the next time you trade, notice the war within. When greed says more and fear says stop, just breathe. Stay still. Watch them pass. Because when you stop reacting, you start trading with presence, steady, patient, and free. This is where trading mind mastery begins. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 3, The Anatomy of Greed, Why Enough is Never Enough, and uncover how desire quietly shapes your decisions long before you ever press buy or sell. Chapter 2, The Anatomy of Greed, Why Enough is Never Enough. You win a trade. The chart closes in your favor, and a wave of satisfaction rushes through you. For a moment, it feels perfect. The plan worked, the setup was right, the market rewarded your patience. But then a thought appears. What if I had held a little longer? What if I had added one more position? And just like that, peace turns into hunger. Greed doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, more. More profit, more trades, more validation. It's the quiet voice that turns contentment into craving. And in trading, that craving can become endless. Because when you trade, you're not just managing charts, you're managing desire. Greed is one of the most understood emotions in trading. It's not just about wanting money. It's about what money represents: security, success, control, or even self-worth. When a trade goes well, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical of pleasure and reward. It tells you, that felt good, let's do it again. And so, without realizing it, you start chasing not the trade, but the feeling. That's how traders slip from confidence into compulsion. You start increasing your risk, skipping your plan, forcing trades that aren't really there. Logic fades, replaced by the thrill of possibility. But here's the truth. Greed isn't evil. It's a signal, a reflection of something deeper, the belief that what you have isn't enough. You see, greed often hides behind ambition. You tell yourself, I just want to improve, I just want to grow. But somewhere along the way, improvement turns into obsession. The line between discipline and desire begins to blur. And the market has a way of exposing that. It knows when you're trading from calm intention and when you're trading from restless need. Every time you push for just one more, you feed the emotional loop. You win, you feel high. You lose, you chase that feeling again. And soon you're no longer trading the market, you're trading your emotions. The way out isn't to suppress greed, it's to understand it. Ask yourself, what am I really chasing? Is it money? Or is it the feeling of control, validation, or relief that money brings? When you become curious about your motives, greed loses its power. You begin to see it not as an enemy to fight, but as a teacher. It's showing you where you've tied your self-worth to your results. It's showing you where your peace depends on performance. And the market has a way of exposing that. It knows when you're trading from calm intention and when you're trading from restless need. Every time you push for just one more, you feed the emotional loop. So, how do you manage it? Start by defining enough, not in terms of profit, but in terms of emotional balance. Enough might mean ending your session on plan, not on impulse. Enough might mean walking away content, not chasing the next thrill. Every great trader learns to stop not because they have to, but because they choose to. And that choice is freedom. You begin to see greed differently, not as an enemy to fight, but as an invitation to practice discipline. Each time it rises, it gives you a chance to pause, to breathe, to choose presence over pursuit. Greed says more. Wisdom says enough. When you trade from enough, your decisions become cleaner. Your emotions soften. You start to see the market for what it truly is, not a source of excitement, but a mirror of your own state of mind. So the next time you feel the pull, the urge to keep going, the whisper of just one more, pause. Notice it. Don't fight it. Just recognize that voice for what it is, a signal from the mind, not a truth from the market. Greed will always exist, but it doesn't have to control you. When you learn to define enough, you stop chasing and start mastering. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 3, Fear's Hidden Grip, How Loss Shapes Your Decisions.
Chapter 3, Fear's Hidden Grip, How Loss Shapes Your Decisions. You open your trading platform. The market looks uncertain. Price wavers, volume drops, and your pulse begins to rise. Your mind replays that last loss, that single red candle that turned victory into regret. You tell yourself you've moved on, but your body remembers. Your heart beats faster. Your mouse hovers over the trade button, and a quiet voice whispers, "Be careful." Fear has entered the room. It doesn't shout. It doesn't storm in. It waits, quietly shaping your thoughts, your reactions, and your judgment. Fear doesn't just change the way you trade. It changes the way you see the market. Fear is the most powerful emotion in trading because it's rooted in survival. It's ancient, a reflex designed to protect you from danger. But in the markets, danger isn't a wild animal or a collapsing structure. It's uncertainty. It's the unknown. It's the idea that what happened before could happen again. You see a setup that fits your plan, yet you hesitate. You doubt your analysis. You wait, and then the market moves, without you. You didn't lose money, but you lost something more painful: confidence. This is how fear quietly builds its grip. It doesn't always come from losses. It often comes from memory, the echo of pain your mind refuses to feel again. And so it keeps you safe by keeping you small. But here's the truth most traders overlook. Fear isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. It reveals where trust is missing. Trust in your plan, trust in your process, trust in yourself. When fear takes control, logic fades. You start reacting instead of responding. You close trades too early. You avoid setups that once brought you success. You even find yourself staring at the chart frozen, unable to act. And when you finally do take a trade, it's often from frustration, not clarity. That's the hidden grip of fear. It disguises itself as caution, but often it's paralysis. So how do you release that grip? The first step is awareness. You can't fight what you can't see. Start by observing your thoughts the moment fear appears. Don't try to push it away, just name it. This is fear. This is my mind protecting me. By naming it, you separate yourself from it. And that separation creates space. Space to breathe, to choose, to act with intention. Next, shift your focus from outcomes to process. Fear thrives on uncertainty, the desire to control what you cannot. But when your focus moves to execution, to following your routine, to managing what's within reach, fear loses its anchor. Because fear can't survive in the present moment. It only lives in the memory of loss or the imagination of pain. And here's something to remember. A loss doesn't define you. It teaches you. It sharpens your awareness, humbles your ego, and tests your discipline. Without loss, there is no growth. The best traders aren't fearless, they're fearless in spite of fear. They feel it, acknowledge it, and move through it with clarity. When you begin to view fear not as a threat, but as information, everything changes. You start to see that fear isn't trying to stop you, it's trying to show you where you're still attached. Attached to control, attached to certainty, attached to needing the trade to work out. And when you loosen that attachment, you become calm. You no longer trade to avoid pain, you trade to express mastery. This is where true confidence begins, not in the size of your wins, but in your ability to stay centered through uncertainty. So the next time you feel fear creeping in, the hesitation, the self-doubt, the racing thoughts, don't run from it. Pause. Breathe. Listen to what it's saying. Fear is not the enemy of trading. It's the mirror that reflects your deepest need for control. And once you understand that, you begin to trade with calm acceptance. Not because you've eliminated fear, but because you've learned to move with it, not against it. Remember, every loss has a lesson, every hesitation has a root, and every moment of awareness brings you closer to mastery. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 4, Awareness, the first step to emotional freedom. You sit in front of your screen watching the market move. The candles rise and fall, your strategy flashes before you, yet something feels off. You know the setup. You've studied the pattern, but inside there's tension, a quiet unease that clouds your focus. You click too early, exit too soon, second-guess every of your moves. This is where most traders live, not in the market, but in their minds. lost between logic and emotion, reacting instead of responding. The truth is, the real battle isn't against volatility, it's against unconsciousness. Awareness is the first step to emotional freedom because you can't master what you can't see. You can't change what you refuse to notice. Most traders think awareness means knowing when to enter or exit, but true awareness goes deeper. It's the ability to watch your own thoughts in real time, to observe fear, greed, and impatience as they rise, without becoming them. When you lose a trade, your mind instantly reacts. It creates a story. I'm not good enough. The market is unfair. I should have known better. These thoughts feel automatic, but they're not truth. They are habits of thinking shaped by years of emotional conditioning. Awareness is the light that exposes these patterns. It allows you to pause before you react, to see the emotion, to name it, and to choose your next move with clarity. Think of awareness as the space between impulse and action. Without it, you trade emotionally. With it, you trade consciously. Imagine this. You take a loss. Instead of frustration, you breathe. You feel the urge to revenge trade, but you recognize it. You don't fight it, you observe it. And in that moment of stillness, something powerful happens. You become the observer, not the emotion. That's the essence of awareness. Detachment without indifference. You still feel emotion, but it no longer controls you. Awareness isn't built in a single day. It's a practice, one that requires patience, honesty, and self-compassion. Each time you reflect on your reactions instead of judging them, you grow stronger. Each time you catch yourself before an impulsive trade, you reclaim control. Here's a simple way to begin. When you trade, watch your body. Notice when your breathing becomes shallow or your shoulders tighten. These physical cues often appear before emotional ones. The body reveals the mind. Next, observe your self-talk. Listen to the words you use after a win or a loss. Do they empower you or drain you? Do they sound calm or desperate? Awareness begins with listening. As you build this inner awareness, something shifts. The charts no longer feel like chaos. They become mirrors reflecting your state of mind. You stop trying to control the market and start mastering your response to it. That's when trading transforms from a game of prediction into a practice of presence. True awareness gives you emotional freedom, the ability to act without being ruled by fear, greed, or doubt. It brings you to a state where every trade becomes an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to strengthen your mental balance. In the end, awareness isn't about never feeling emotion. It's about understanding it so deeply that emotion loses its power to disturb your peace. And that peace is where mastery begins. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 5, the mind-body connection. Calmness in the chaos of markets.
Chapter 4. Awareness, the first step to emotional freedom. You sit in front of your screen, watching the market move. The candles rise and fall, your strategy flashes before you, and yet, something feels off. You know the setup, you've studied the pattern, but inside, there's tension. A quiet unease that clouds your focus. You click too early, exit too soon, second-guess your every move. This is where most traders live, not in the market, but in their minds, lost between logic and emotion, reacting instead of responding. The truth is, the real battle isn't against volatility, it's against unconsciousness. Awareness is the first step to emotional freedom because you can't master what you can't see. You can't change what you refuse to notice. Most traders think awareness means knowing when to enter or exit, but true awareness goes deeper. It's the ability to watch your own thoughts in real time, to observe fear, greed, and impatience as they rise, without becoming them. When you lose a trade, your mind instantly reacts. It creates a story. I'm not good enough. The market is unfair. I should have known better. These thoughts feel automatic, but they are not truth. They are habits of thinking.
shaped by years of emotional conditioning. Awareness is the light that exposes these patterns. It allows you to pause before you react, to see the emotion, to name it, and to choose your next move with clarity. Think of awareness as the space between impulse and action. Without it, you trade emotionally. With it, you trade consciously. Imagine this. You take a loss. Instead of frustration, you breathe. You feel the urge to revenge trade, but you recognize it. You don't fight it. You observe it. And in that moment of stillness, something powerful happens. You become the observer, not the emotion. That's the essence of awareness. Detachment without indifference. You still feel emotion, but it no longer controls you. Awareness isn't built in a single day. It's a practice, one that requires patience, honesty, and self-compassion. Each time you reflect on your reactions, instead of judging them, you grow stronger. Each time you catch yourself before an impulsive trade, you reclaim control. Here's a simple way to begin. When you trade, watch your body. Notice when your breathing becomes shallow or your shoulders tighten. These physical cues often appear before emotional ones. The body reveals the mind. Next, observe your self-talk. Listen to the words you use after a win or a loss. Do they empower you or drain you? Do they sound calm or desperate? Awareness begins with listening. As you build this inner awareness, something shifts. The charts no longer feel like chaos. They become mirrors reflecting your state of mind. You stop trying to control the market and start mastering your response to it. That's when trading transforms from a game of prediction into a practice of presence. True awareness gives you emotional freedom, the ability to act without being ruled by fear, greed, or doubt. It brings you to a state where every trade becomes an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to strengthen your mental balance. In the end, awareness isn't about never feeling emotion. It's about understanding it so deeply that emotion loses its power to disturb your peace. And that peace is where mastery begins. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 5, The Mind-Body Connection, Calmness in the Chaos of Markets.
Chapter 5, The Mind-Body Connection, Calmness in the Chaos of Markets. You've been staring at the charts for hours. The price moves fast, candles flicker, positions rise and fall, and your pulse matches the rhythm of the market. You tell yourself you're focused, but your body tells another story. Your shoulders are tense, your breathing shallow, and your heart pounds just a little too fast. You're not just trading the market, you're trading your own nervous system. Most traders think mindset is only in the mind, that discipline and focus come from mental strength alone. But your body and mind are not separate. They move together, respond together, and fall apart together. When your body is tense, your thoughts follow. When your breath is shallow, your focus narrows. And when your body is calm, your mind begins to quiet. This is the mind-body connection, the invisible thread between your emotions, physiology, and decision-making. Understanding it is the key to staying calm in the chaos of markets. Think back to a time when you entered a trade out of fear. Maybe you saw a sudden drop and felt the need to react instantly. In that moment, your body triggered a stress response, adrenaline, faster heartbeat, tunnel vision. The same reaction your body uses for survival in danger. But the market isn't a wild animal, it's data. And reacting with fight or flight to a number on a screen leads to emotional trading. Now imagine a different scenario. You take a deep breath before entering a trade. Your posture is relaxed. Your breathing is steady. You feel grounded, present, alert, but calm. The same chart, the same price movement, but your perception changes. You see opportunity instead of threat. That is the power of regulating your body to regulate your mind. The best traders don't fight the chaos. They train their nervous system to stay balanced within it. They understand that emotional control starts with physical awareness. Here's how you begin to practice that. Before you trade, check in with your body.
Are your shoulders tense? Are you clenching your jaw? Are you breathing? If not, pause and reset. Take slow, deep breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let each exhale soften your body. During trading, when stress spikes, don't rush to fix the chart. Fix your state first. Step away for a moment. Stretch. Walk. Breathe. The market will still be there when you return, but your mind will be clearer, your energy more focused. After trading, reflect not only on your decisions, but on how your body felt during them. Was your breathing calm during your best trades? Was your heart racing when you made impulsive ones? Over time, you'll see a pattern. Your body always speaks before your mistakes. When you bring awareness to your physical state, you gain a superpower most traders overlook: self-regulation. It's what allows you to remain objective when others panic. It's what keeps your emotions in check when greed or fear rise. It's what turns chaos into rhythm. Remember, your body is not the enemy of your trading mind. It's the foundation. A calm body supports a calm mind, and a calm mind sees clearly. As you cultivate this mind-body connection, you'll notice something remarkable. The market's noise begins to fade. Your breathing slows naturally. Your confidence feels quieter, more grounded. You stop chasing perfection and start flowing with the moment. That's emotional mastery, not through control, but through harmony. You're no longer reacting to every movement. You're responding with awareness and balance. The chaos of the market will never disappear, but your inner state can become unshakable within it. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 6, Detachment and Discipline, the trader's true power. You watch the market move in your favor. Your position is green, your analysis was right, and you feel the rush. Your heart quickens, your confidence rises, and you start to believe you can do no wrong. Then, just as quickly, the market reverses. The profit fades, the screen turns red, and panic sets in. What was once excitement now feels like fear. In a matter of seconds, your emotional state swings from euphoria to despair. This is the emotional roller coaster every trader knows too well, and it happens because of attachment, the invisible thread that ties your identity to the outcome of each trade. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring about results. It means you stop letting results define you. True detachment is not cold indifference, it's emotional freedom, the ability to act with clarity whether you win or lose. When you're attached, every tick feels personal. You see a red candle and think, I was wrong. You see a green candle and think, I'm back. But the truth is, neither defines your worth. You are not your last trade. You are the sum of your habits, your patience, and your discipline. Discipline is what gives detachment its power. It's the structure that keeps your emotions from running the show. It's following your plan when your mind screams to break it. It's trusting your rules when the market tempts you with chaos. Think of the disciplined trader as a pilot flying through turbulence. The sky shakes, alarms sound, but the pilot doesn't panic. They rely on training, on procedure, on calm repetition. They don't control the storm, they control themselves. That's what trading demands of you: to be calm in chaos, detached in uncertainty, and consistent in action. Here's a truth many traders never accept. Emotional discipline is built, not born. It's forged in moments of discomfort. When you want to chase a loss, when you want to double your position, when you want to break your rules just this once. Every time you resist that impulse, you strengthen your mental muscle. Detachment is the byproduct of repetition, doing the right thing often enough that your emotions no longer hold the same power. You begin to trust your system more than your feelings. You begin to act from intention, not reaction. Try this. Before every trading session, remind yourself, my job is to execute, not to predict. My goal is consistency, not perfection. Say it until it becomes true. When you operate from detachment, losses don't crush you and wins don't inflate you. You remain steady, balanced, aware. You begin to see the market not as a battlefield, but as a reflection of discipline.
Some of the most successful traders in history share one defining trait: not extraordinary intelligence, but emotional control. They understand that the market's chaos is constant. The only variable they can control is themselves. Discipline isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering response. It's not about ignoring greed or fear, but recognizing them without acting on impulse. When you trade from discipline, you build trust in yourself. And when you trust yourself, detachment follows naturally. This is the paradox of trading psychology. The less attached you are to outcome, the better your outcomes become. Because clarity replaces chaos, patience replaces panic, process replaces emotion. So remember, detachment is not distance, it's freedom. Freedom from emotional noise, freedom from overreaction, freedom from the constant pull of greed and fear. When you trade detached and disciplined, you don't chase the market, you flow with it. You no longer try to control every move. You simply respond with calm precision, confident that your strength lies not in prediction, but in control. True power in trading isn't about timing the market perfectly. It's about mastering the only variable that truly matters: you. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 7, The Ritual of Control, Building Habits that Tame the Mind.
Chapter 7: The Ritual of Control, Building Habits that Tame the Mind. You wake up, open your charts, and instantly feel the pull of the market. Your eyes dart across candles, your pulse quickens, and before you even realize it, you've entered a trade. There's no calm, no preparation, just reaction. Hours later, you sit back, wondering how you lost focus again, how discipline slipped through your fingers once more. Every trader has been there, and it's not a lack of knowledge that causes it. It's the absence of ritual. Ritual is what transforms chaos into control. It's what separates emotional trading from deliberate action. Without ritual, the market pulls you in. With it, you move with intention. Think of a ritual not as routine, but as a framework, a sequence that anchors your mind before the market tests it. It's the structure that keeps your emotions in check when volatility rises, and your compass when clarity fades. Successful traders aren't immune to emotion. They simply create systems that manage it before it manages them. The mind is like water. When still, it reflects reality clearly. When stirred, it distorts everything it sees. Rituals are how you keep that water still. Start with the morning. Before you even look at a chart, take a moment to ground yourself. Breathe deeply, stretch, sit in silence. Remind yourself that today's goal is not to win every trade. It's to stay disciplined, focused, and calm. That single intention can change your entire session. Then, set your trading environment. A cluttered screen leads to a cluttered mind. Keep only what you need visible. Eliminate distractions. Every open tab, every flashing window pulls energy from your focus. Your trading space should be a reflection of your internal state: clean, organized, deliberate. Next, create a pre-trade ritual. Before entering any position, pause and ask yourself, does this align with my plan? Am I calm right now? Am I following my process or chasing emotion? If your answer isn't clear and calm, you wait. That pause is the foundation of control. Habits built on awareness reshape your entire trading psychology. The brain learns through repetition. Every time you pause before reacting, you're rewiring your mind for discipline. Every time you follow your process instead of your impulses, you strengthen emotional control. The most powerful rituals aren't complex, they're consistent. Review your plan before each session. Journal your thoughts after each trade. Reflect on your emotions, not just your results. Ask yourself, what state were you in when you performed best? The answers are always inside you. Over time, your rituals become automatic, a quiet rhythm that steadies you through volatility. You begin to notice something subtle but profound. The market no longer dictates your mood. Wins don't inflate you. Losses don't crush you. You start each day balanced because your ritual keeps you anchored. This is how great traders are made. Not through constant hustle, but through consistent stillness, through rituals that align the mind with purpose. Remember, control doesn't come from fighting emotion. It comes from channeling it through structure. Rituals give emotion a boundary, a place to exist without taking over. When you master your habits, you master your mind. And when your mind is mastered, the market no longer feels like chaos. It becomes a mirror reflecting your discipline. So build your rituals, protect them, honor them. They are the quiet routines that lead to extraordinary results. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 8, Reframing Risk, Transforming Fear into Focus. You sit in front of your screen. The setup looks perfect, clean, logical, aligned with your plan. But your finger hesitates over the buy button. A voice whispers in your mind, "What if it fails? What if you lose again?" Fear. It's the invisible hand that moves countless traders long before they ever touch a chart. You felt it, that tightening in your chest, that racing heart before a trade, the fear of losing, the fear of being wrong, the fear of repeating old mistakes. It's not the market that terrifies you, it's the uncertainty. But here's the truth. Risk isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. The moment you stop fearing risk, you begin to see it for what it really is: information. A mirror reflecting how much control you have over your emotions and how much faith you have in your process. Every trade you take is a dialogue between your logic and your fear. The more you try to eliminate risk, the more fear controls you. But when you accept it, when you make peace with it, the noise fades. Imagine a mountaineer standing before a towering peak. The risk of falling is always there, but fear doesn't stop them because they've trained for it. They've studied the path, tested their limits, and accepted that risk is part of the climb. You are that mountaineer. The market is your mountain. When you reframe risk, it transforms from something threatening into something empowering. Instead of, "I might lose," you begin to think, "I'm learning how to respond." Instead of fearing uncertainty, you begin to embrace adaptability. This is how professional traders think. They don't try to predict, they prepare. They don't chase safety, they build confidence. The first shift begins with awareness. Every time fear appears, pause. Don't fight it, observe it. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of right now? Usually, it's not the trade, it's the outcome. You're afraid of how you'll feel if it fails. You're afraid of disappointment. When you recognize that, you separate emotion from action. You give yourself space to choose clarity over reaction. The second shift is reframing loss itself. A loss isn't a failure, it's feedback. It tells you something about your execution, your state of mind, or your preparation. When you treat losses as teachers, you remove their emotional power over you. And finally, practice the ritual of reflection. After each session, instead of asking, "Did I win?" ask, "Did I follow my process?" If the answer is yes, then you succeeded, no matter the result. Because in trading, mastery isn't about avoiding loss. It's about managing the space between emotion and execution. Think back to the times when you traded from a place of fear, entering early, exiting too soon, doubting your own signals. Now imagine approaching the same trade with calm, grounded acceptance. The chart doesn't change, the outcome doesn't change, but you do. You move from panic to presence, from avoidance to awareness, from fear to focus. And that is the shift that defines every great trader. You learn to see risk not as danger, but as the price of opportunity. Not as something to escape, but as something to navigate with grace. When fear transforms into focus, your actions align with clarity. Your discipline deepens. You no longer trade to prove, you trade to perform. So, the next time you feel that familiar tension before a trade, take a deep breath. Let fear speak, and then thank it. because fear reminds you that you care, but focus reminds you that you're in control. Risk will always be there, but so will your ability to reframe it. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 8, Mastery Over Impulse, the Calm Trader's Code.
You know the feeling. The market moves fast, the candles flash green, and in a heartbeat, your heart begins to race. You convince yourself, this is it. This is the moment. You click buy. Seconds later, the chart reverses, and you're left staring at the screen, wondering what just happened. That wasn't strategy. That was impulse. Every trader faces it, the invisible tug between logic and emotion. The impulse to act now before thinking. The urge to chase, to double down, to fix a mistake immediately. It feels powerful, almost unstoppable. But behind that impulse is not strength. It's fear disguised as action. Impulse is the mind's way of seeking relief from discomfort. You want control, certainty, closure. But in the world of trading, impulse is the enemy of clarity. When you act on impulse, you aren't trading the market, you're trading your emotions. And the market, indifferent and unbending, will always expose that. Mastery over impulse begins with a simple truth. The calm trader doesn't react, they respond. To reach that level, you must understand where impulse comes from. It begins in the body, a surge of adrenaline, a tightening of the chest, a rush of heat. Your nervous system interprets uncertainty as threat. Your brain tells you to do something, anything, to make the discomfort stop. That's why the calm trader trains not just the mind, but the body. You breathe through tension. You learn to recognize the signals before they control you. You pause, not to hesitate, but to create space for awareness. This space is where true mastery lives. Think of it this way. An impulsive trader reacts to the market's chaos. A disciplined trader creates calm within it. Every time you resist the urge to act on impulse, you're strengthening your internal foundation. You're building mental muscle, the kind that doesn't flex in excitement but holds firm under pressure. There's a story told among experienced traders about a man who once said, "The best trades I ever made were the ones I didn't take." It's not poetic exaggeration, it's wisdom earned through discipline. Sometimes restraint is the most profitable action you can take. So, how do you cultivate this mastery in yourself? First, develop the ritual of pause. Before every trade, take one deep breath. Ask yourself, am I acting from strategy or emotion? If it's emotion, step back. You'll save yourself more than money, you'll preserve clarity. Second, create process-based rules. Rules act as anchors. They pull you back from the storm of emotion and remind you of your structure. The calm trader doesn't rely on mood, they rely on method. And third, practice mindfulness beyond the charts. Meditation, journaling, even simple reflection. These build awareness in your daily life, which transfers directly into your trading. The more present you are, the less room there is for impulse to take control. Remember, impulse thrives in noise. Calm grows in silence. When you start to feel that rising urgency, remember that the market will always offer another opportunity. What matters most is not missing this trade, but protecting your state of mind for the next one. Because once your emotions lead, your logic follows, and by then, it's too late. But when calm leads, everything changes. Decisions feel lighter. Patterns become clearer. The need to prove, chase, or control begins to fade. You trade from a place of power, not pressure. From clarity, not chaos. This is the essence of the calm trader's code: restraint over reaction, patience over panic, awareness over impulse. And with each moment of calm, you're not just improving your trading, you're transforming yourself. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 10, Emotional Reset. recovering after a loss or winning streak. You've just closed a trade. Maybe it was a loss. Maybe it was a win. Either way, your chest feels tight. Your mind is racing, the screens blur, and a subtle tension lingers in your shoulders. If it was a loss, you feel the familiar pang of regret, replaying every decision, questioning every move. Did I miss something? Was I careless? If it was a win, your heart might be racing in a different way, exhilarated, almost invincible. You can feel the adrenaline urging you forward, whispering, "Just one more, you've got the edge now." Either way, you know this feeling all too well. The weight of emotion that can cloud judgment, that can pull you off your center. This chapter is about regaining that center, about pausing, resetting, and stepping back into the market with clarity. This is your emotional reset. Let's start with losses. They sting. That's natural. You are human, after all. But your reaction matters more than the trade itself. Ask yourself, are you responding or reacting? Here's a simple framework to guide you through recovery. First, acknowledge the feeling. Sit with the emotion for a moment. Name it: frustration, disappointment, or even embarrassment. Don't shove it aside. By acknowledging it, you take the first step towards releasing it. Second, detach from identity. You are not your trades. A single loss does not define your skill, your potential, or your future. The market doesn't judge. You do only when you attach your ego to the outcome. Third, pause before action. Take a walk, breathe deeply, stretch your body. Let your nervous system reset. Your next trade should come from calm strategy, not emotional impulse. And fourth, reflect without judgment. Look at what happened analytically. What went right? What could have been better? Focus on process, not result. Every experience is data, neutral, informative, never personal. Now consider winning streaks. Wins can be intoxicating. Your mind might start to feel invincible. You might whisper, "I'm unstoppable today." But this is a double-edged sword. Winning streaks can lead to overconfidence, to risk creeping into decisions that normally would have been disciplined. The reset for wins looks slightly different. First, ground yourself in reality. Celebrate quietly, but remind yourself the market is not a personal fan. It rewards preparation, patience, and process, not ego. Second, check your mindset. Excitement can feel good, but ask yourself, am I trading to enjoy the thrill, or am I following my system? Pause and let calm judgment guide your next step. And third, reaffirm your rules. Review your trading plan. Revisit your risk parameters. Wins are lessons in consistency, not permission to relax. Across both wins and losses, the common principle is mindfulness. You are not your feelings. You are an observer, a strategist, a learner. The emotional reset is the bridge between experience and mastery. Imagine a clear lake at dawn. The surface is glassy. A stone might ripple it, like a loss or win, but the lake settles again. You are that lake. Your emotions ripple, but they do not define your depth, your stillness, your clarity. Emotional resets are not weakness. They are the heartbeat of disciplined trading. Every time you pause, reflect, and step back, you're strengthening not just your mind, but your resilience. You're learning to flow, not react, to respond, not be swept away. Remember, whether recovering from a loss or reining in the thrill of a winning streak, your mind is your greatest asset. Protect it, respect it, reset it. And as you close this chapter of reflection, carry this truth forward. The calm, centered trader is always the one who lasts, always the one who thrives. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 10, Flow State Trading, when mind and market move as one.
You've just closed a trade. Maybe it was a loss, maybe it was a win. Either way, your chest feels tight. Your mind is racing, the screens blur, and a subtle tension lingers in your shoulders. If it was a loss, you feel the familiar pang of regret, replaying every decision, questioning every move. Did I miss something? Was I careless? If it was a win, your heart might be racing in a different way, exhilarated, almost invincible. You can feel the adrenaline urging you forward, whispering, "Just one more. You've got the edge now." Either way, you know this feeling all too well. The weight of emotion that can cloud judgment, that can pull you off your center. This chapter is about regaining that center, about pausing, resetting, and stepping back into the market with clarity. This is your emotional reset. Let's start with losses. They sting. That's natural. You are human after all, but your reaction matters more than the trade itself. Ask yourself, are you responding or reacting? Here's a simple framework to guide you through recovery. First, acknowledge the feeling. Sit with the emotion for a moment. Name it frustration, disappointment, or even embarrassment. Don't shove it aside. By acknowledging it, you take the first step toward releasing it. Second, detach from identity. You are not your trades. A single loss does not define your skill, your potential, or your future. The market doesn't judge. You do, only when you attach your ego to the outcome. Third, pause before action. Take a walk, breathe deeply, stretch your body. Let your nervous system reset. Your next trade should come from calm strategy, not emotional impulse. Fourth, reflect without judgment. Look at what happened analytically. What went right? What could have been better? Focus on process, not result. Every experience is data. Neutral, informative, never personal. Now consider winning streaks. Wins can be intoxicating. Your mind may start to feel invincible. You might whisper, "I'm unstoppable today." But this is a double-edged sword. Winning streaks can lead to overconfidence, to risk creeping into decisions that normally would have been disciplined. The reset for wins looks slightly different. First, ground yourself in reality. Celebrate quietly, but remind yourself the market is not a personal fan. It rewards preparation, patience, and process, not ego. Second, check your mindset. Excitement can feel good, but ask yourself, am I trading to enjoy the thrill, or am I following my system? Pause and let calm judgment guide your next step. Third, reaffirm your rules. Review your trading plan. Revisit your risk parameters. Wins are lessons in consistency, not permission to relax discipline. Across both wins and losses, the common principle is mindfulness. You are not your feelings. You are an observer, a strategist, a learner. The emotional reset is the bridge between experience and mastery. Imagine a clear lake at dawn. The surface is glassy. A stone might ripple it, like a loss or win, but the lake settles again. You are that lake. Your emotions ripple, but they do not define your depth, your stillness, your clarity. Emotional resets are not a weakness. They are the heartbeat of disciplined trading. Every time you pause, reflect, and step back, you strengthen not just your mind, but your resilience. You are learning to flow, not react, to respond, not be swept away. Remember, whether recovering from a loss or laning in the thrill of a winning streak, your mind is your greatest asset. Protect it, respect it, reset it. And as you close this chapter of reflection, carry this truth forward. The calm, centered trader is always the one who lasts, always the one who thrives. In the next chapter, we'll explore Chapter 11, Flow State Trading, when mind and market move as one. You sit in front of your screens and something feels different today. Not tension, not anxiety, not excitement, but a quiet focus. Your mind is clear, your breath steady, and the world outside seems distant, almost muted. You are alert, yet relaxed. You are aware of the market's rhythm, but you are not chasing it. You feel connected, almost as if you are moving in sync with the flow of the market itself. This is the moment traders call the flow state, the rare and powerful experience where mind and market move as one. where decisions arise naturally, almost effortlessly, where fear and doubt fade, leaving only clarity and intuition. Flow state trading is not magic, it is not luck, it is a skill cultivated through discipline, self awareness, and emotional mastery. And in this chapter, you will learn how to recognize it, nurture it, and sustain it. The first insight is presence. Flow begins when your attention is fully in the moment. You are not thinking about the last trade, nor worrying about the next. You are here, fully aware of every movement, every signal, every nuance. Your body mirrors this focus. Your heart rate is calm, your muscles are relaxed, your mind is sharp, like a lens focusing on the market's subtle patterns. You notice details others overlook because you are not distracted by fear or greed. Flow is also the balance between challenge and skill. The market offers constant stimuli, but you are equipped. Your preparation meets the opportunity. Each decision is aligned with your training and experience. When the challenge matches your skill, your mind enters a heightened state of awareness, where reactions are immediate yet thoughtful. Another key to flow is detachment from outcome. You do not dwell on wins or losses. You respond to the market, not to your emotions. Each action is deliberate, grounded in process, not in desire for reward. This detachment frees your mind, allowing intuition to rise naturally. Practical strategies to cultivate flow include routines and rituals. Begin each session by centering yourself, breathing, visualization, or a brief mental checklist. Minimize distractions, set clear intentions for the session, and most importantly, respect your limits. Flow cannot be forced. It emerges when preparation meets calm awareness. Imagine a dancer moving effortlessly across a stage. Each step is precise, yet fluid. Each motion guided by instinct, yet informed by practice. You are that dancer. The market is the music. You do not control it, but you move with it, harmoniously, intentionally. Flow is also self-reinforcing. The more you experience it, the more you recognize the signs, the subtle calm, the heightened awareness, the seamless focus. And the more you practice emotional regulation, the easier it becomes to enter the state. However, flow is fragile. It can be disrupted by impatience, distraction, or ego. A single moment of doubt can pull you back into ordinary consciousness. That is why mindfulness and emotional discipline remain essential. You must cultivate presence, awareness, and detachment as a foundation for flow. Ultimately, flow state trading is the pinnacle of emotional and mental mastery. It is the point where preparation, focus, and intuition converge. When you achieve it, you experience a profound sense of alignment, not just with the market, but with yourself. Decisions feel effortless, actions feel natural. You are fully engaged, fully alive, and fully calm. As you reflect on this chapter, remember that flow is not a destination. It is a journey, a practice, a mindset. You cultivate it through preparation, mindfulness, and emotional discipline. You honor it by remaining present, detached, and aware. And you strengthen it by embracing every trading session as an opportunity to move closer to the state. Flow state trading reminds you that mastery is not about controlling the market, it is about controlling your mind. It is about harmony, clarity, and calm confidence. In the next chapter, we'll explore conclusion, the fearless mind, trading with calm confidence.
Conclusion: the fearless mind, trading with calm confidence. You sit quietly at your desk, looking at the market. The screens glow softly, but you barely notice them. Something has shifted. Your heart is steady. Your mind is calm. You feel a quiet confidence that does not demand attention. It does not shout. It simply is. You are no longer chasing outcomes, no longer reacting to fear or greed. You are centered, grounded, and aware. This is the fearless mind, the culmination of everything you have learned. It is not born from luck or innate talent. It is earned through discipline, self-awareness, and the willingness to face yourself honestly. It is the mind that remains steady in the midst of uncertainty, that responds with clarity rather than emotion. The first step toward a fearless mind is acceptance. Accept that the market is unpredictable. Accept that losses will happen. Accept that you cannot control everything. When you let go of the illusion of control, you free your mind from the weight of anxiety and tension. You respond with clarity instead of reaction. The second step is emotional mastery. You have practiced recognizing your impulses, your fears, your excitement. You have learned to pause, reflect, and reset. Every time you managed a loss, celebrated a win with balance, or entered the flow state with presence, you strengthened your emotional resilience. Your mind now reacts not with panic or overconfidence, but with calm assessment. The third step is mindfulness. You remain present in every moment. You notice the subtle signals, the patterns, the shifts that others might overlook. You are fully aware, fully engaged, yet unattached to outcome. Mindfulness is your anchor in the storm, your compass through uncertainty, and your gateway to consistent focus. The fourth step is self-trust. You trust your preparation, your discipline, and your experience. You trust that you can make the best decision in each moment, even when outcomes are unknown. This trust does not breed arrogance, it breeds calm confidence. You know that your value as a trader is not defined by any single trade, but by the steady application of your mindset and process. As you embrace the fearless mind, you notice a sense of flow emerging more often. Decisions feel natural, deliberate, and effortless. You are not fighting the market, you are moving with it. You are fully present yet relaxed. You are aware yet unshaken. You are calm yet deeply focused. Practical strategies to maintain this fearless mindset include reflection, journaling, and regular emotional check-ins. Review your sessions not to criticize, but to observe. Notice your emotional triggers and your moments of clarity. Reinforce habits that foster presence and resilience. With consistent practice, the fearless mind becomes your default state, not a rare achievement. Remember, this mindset is not a destination. It is a journey. Each trade, each session, each day is an opportunity to cultivate calm, clarity, and confidence. The fearless mind grows in quiet moments as much as in moments of challenge. It is strengthened by discipline, mindfulness, and self-trust. As you close this final chapter, carry this truth with you. Mastery is not about perfection. It is about composure, not about eliminating fear, but about responding to it with awareness and confidence. The fearless mind is patient, resilient, and present. It is calm in chaos, confident in uncertainty, and grounded in self-trust. You are no longer a trader ruled by emotion. You are a trader guided by presence. You are no longer a participant in the market's chaos. You are a mindful navigator. This is the mind that lasts. This is the mind that thrives. This is the fearless mind.